Hey, welcome everybody. This is going to be, I'm Jack Hammer. This is going to be breakdown number 2 for Javon Kinlaw from 2020, from his rookie season. So the first one that we did was Javon Kinlaw versus the New Orleans Saints. The breakdown today is going to be from the next game on the 49ers schedule from Week 12 against the Los Angeles Rams. When you talk to pretty much anybody about Javon Kinlaw's 2020 season, they kind of point to these two games as the two best games of the season. So I want to go ahead and take a look at both of those. We had a pretty good look at that New Orleans game a couple days ago. So let's go ahead and jump into his game against the Rams. Just a couple of things to note before we get started on this one. One of the things that I found really interesting as I was charting this game and going through getting ready for breaking this down for you was that in the Rams game, Javon Kinlaw played only 21 snaps. He made a big impact in the game in the second half, but he really wasn't on the field a whole lot throughout the game. The 49ers, for whatever reason, decided to run quite a bit more with Kevin Givens and Kentavious Street on the inside in this game. And they rotated around Kinlaw sparingly. But basically, he played only one series throughout the game where he played more than 3 plays in that series. So and that was in the third quarter, towards the end of that quarter. So we're going to jump into it. As I said, we're going to I'll be moving through, only looking at the plays that include Kinlaw, and we're going to start that right off in quarter number 1 at 13:35. This will be his first play of the game. It's the first defensive play of the game for the 49ers. And it's going to be a running play. Kinlaw is right here. He's on the right side, and you're going to get a run play here, and he's going to do a really nice job. Let's watch where he goes. It's going to be a run play, I believe, to his left. He does a nice job of being able to get his hands into the defender and working his way down the line of scrimmage. He has really long arms, he has really the longest arms of pretty much anybody all along the offensive front. And he just does a really nice job on this play. I really like the way, especially when you watch it from this angle here. Slow it down, and you can see he does a nice job of getting into the man in front of him, keeping his head up, and working his way down the line of scrimmage and helping out with the tackle on Henderson here. You see him explode. He gets his hands. He's kind of able to extend away from his body. Gets washed down a little bit, but he's able to maintain. He doesn't get driven backwards. And he's able to help out. The majority of that tackle is by Jamar Taylor, but he's right there to help out with that as well. So a really nice opening play for Kinlaw in this ball game. Let's jump to the next play, which is going to be the second down play. I think this is it's a relatively quick series for him on this one. So the second play, and he's in the same spot as he was before. You see him there right in the middle of the field, and this is a pass, and this is one of the things that is very typical of Javon Kinlaw. He's right here, and he's going to rush up. He basically just bull rushes into the. It looks like, I think that's going to be the center. Gets his hands extended, but he really doesn't affect this play at all. He doesn't really get much of a push on I believe that's Blythe. Ball comes out relatively quick, but not a whole lot to that one for Kinlaw from a pass rushing perspective. Not a whole lot of pass rush. Doesn't generate much movement, and the ball comes out before he's able to really affect the play. And then we jump onto the next one here. Again, pretty much the same thing. This is, again, let's skip forward to where we can see him from behind the end zone. And he's lined up right here. And again, you're gonna see him get off, and he's gonna get into the man. You got a little bit of almost a double team kind of thing, but he gets really no pressure against either one of them. He doesn't drive back to center, doesn't really get any kind of push against the guard. There's just not really a whole lot to this rep from Kinlaw. It's almost as if he knows at the snap, at this point right here, that he's not going to get there. And he sees that he's supposed to be doubled, and he's almost as if he just kind of stops what he's doing, or stops his feet and just gets his eyes on the quarterback and is looking to put himself in a passing lane, because he's really not generated any kind of a pass rush on either of his first two snaps of the game. What's up, Amin? Hope you're having a good day. Jason, thanks for joining as well. So that's where we are so far. So that's it. And now for the rest of this first series of the game, the next 2 plays. Actually, there's 3 more plays in this series. He's removed from the game, and Kevin Givens and Kentavious Street are going to take the rest of the series from the middle of the 49ers defense. So that first possession for first 3 snaps of the game for Kinlaw, a really nice run defensive play to start the game off, followed by a couple of pass rush plays where he really doesn't get much of an effect on the play. But rushing on both times really doesn't get much of a push against his man on either one of those. So let's jump forward to the next series, and he's going to start off this one as well. The first down here is going to be a run, much like the previous series. Kinlaw, I believe, is right here. This is, I think, Givens in this game. Played quite a bit, like I said. And he's going to do a pretty nice job on this one. Again, that's a really good job. This time the run comes in his direction. Let's slow it down just a little bit right here. See, he is able to really get his arms extended on the center. He's kind of working his gap. The ball comes through. He's able to get off of his man, get down the line of scrimmage, and help with bringing down the tackle. So that's actually a really nice play out of Kinlaw. So, out of the first 4 plays of the game, 2 of them are runs, 2 passes for the plays that he's in. And on the second running play, again, a really nice job, very similar to the first one that he did. Let's watch it here from the end zone view. You're going to see he's going to be able to get his arms fully extended and really gets a good push to get his man off of him, and that's part of why he's able to disengage and shed the man and get down the line of scrimmage to help with the tackle. So you see him step down into the center, who is running kind of a zone off to the left, does a good job of fighting through. Linebackers come around, make a nice play, but Kinlaw does a good job as well of getting off of that block and coming down and helping with the tackle. So that's a nice play out of Kinlaw. So a couple of good running plays. That's one of the things that I must say, he struggles a little bit in the pass rush. He's really, he's much better as a run defender at this point in his career than he is as a pass rusher. But I think that was pretty much expected when the 49ers took him in the draft back at the beginning before 2020. So here we go with the next one. He's lined up right here, and this is going to be a passing play again. And again, just no movement at all. The quarterback ends up rolling away from him, but Kinlaw doesn't get any kind of a push on the offensive linemen that are in front of him. He pretty much just gets stuck right on the line of scrimmage, right in his spot, and ends up chasing the play down, but really not affecting anything again. I understand the quarterback rolled away from him, so that makes his job even harder considering he's on the right side and the quarterback of the 49ers defense and the quarterback rolled to their left, but he's not really even affecting the play at all, not getting much of a push. And then here on this next play, he's down at the bottom here, and he kind of just, again, the quarterback kind of moves out, bootlegs out to the left side, and you're going to see Kinlaw kind of just, he gets a little bit of pressure, and then he kind of just falls off into coverage. I'm not sure if that was by design that they had him falling off or exactly what the situation was there. But again, no pass rush generated. Ball went the opposite direction, and that's the end of the series for Javon Kinlaw. He's replaced after that one, and the next couple of plays are going to be Kentavious Street and Kevin Givens to run it out. You're welcome. I enjoy doing these shows, and especially now that we're looking directly at the 49ers players and kind of drilling down on some of the stuff from last year. These breakdowns are a lot of fun to do and put together. And we spent a lot of time on the rookies during the off season, and those were really great. And it's always fun to kind of come back now and circle back and look at the 49ers from 2020. And there might be another breakdown of a rook coming up here pretty soon. I think it might be time to get back to the quarterback and Although there's a bunch of games of his on my channel already. There's a few that I haven't broken down yet. I have one that's been charted and ready to go that might be coming up pretty soon. So this is now let's jump forward at 2:15 of the first quarter. And so through this part of the game, we've got 6 plays so far for Kinlaw, and this will be a 7th. He's right over the logo right here. And we're going to get a run away from him. So this, I think, is going to go down here to the right side. It does. It's a good job, a nice push, and he's able to. Again, it's a running play. He's able to get. He's got his gap secured. Plays going out wide to the left, and he's doing a good job of kind of fighting back, pushing through 73, going down the line. If that ball if for whatever reason that front side of that defense is able to stop the run and the running back has to cut back, he's going to be in a good position. He's doing his job the way that he plays that one there. And then here at 141, we're going to get a screen. It's going to go out to the left side. Does a nice job there of kind of retracing his steps. There's not a whole lot to this play for him because of the fact that it's a screen. What you want to look for here is make sure he doesn't get upfield too far. He starts jumping up, and as soon as he realizes it's a screen, he plants his feet and turns and runs back. It's not a bad job at all on the screen there by Kinlaw. Let's look at that one more time. It's pretty quick. You're going to see he jumps up. He's going to into the gap. He's on his pass rush. He gets his eyes up. He realizes it's a screen and retraces his steps. And he gets tackled by 64 and Ward. It's not bad there. And then here, our 3rd down. This will be the last play of the drive. He's right here at the top of the screen. And he gets no push, kind of stoned at the line of scrimmage again. Just no pressure. He hasn't been able to. He's been unfortunate with his pass rushing so far through this game. He's right here. He's tries to kind of step up and around, and he just runs into Blythe head up, and Blythe doesn't really even move. You get a little bit of pressure off of the edge, though, from 96, which I believe is Jordan. And then you get Kerry Hyder coming up to kind of fill that also, and you get a throwaway on 3rd down, end of down, and it's punt time. If you had seen the breakdown I did this morning with Coach Johnson, this is kind of exactly like what we're talking about, though, where if this guy, if this is Nick Bosa instead of Kerry Hyder, this may be a sack. Imagine this being Samson Ebicam coming around the corner, being able to get Goff to move. And over here, you've got Hyder who, he gets off of his block. He just doesn't have the closing speed of a Nick Bosa. So instead of this being a sack, it ends up being a throwaway. It's a good play by the 49ers defense, so don't get me wrong there. It's not like it's a negative play at all or a bad play by the 49ers defense. But the difference between this being a sack and it being a throwaway is that if they had sacked him right here, that ball's getting punted from the Rams 40, the 41-yard line instead of the 49ers 45. So that's a big difference right there in terms of where that's almost 12 yards difference. So that could have changed possession where the 49ers took possession, because if you look at it on the punt, the 49ers ended up taking possession of the ball at the 14. If you're able to add, say, 10 to 14 yards, they're outside or around the 24, 25-yard line to start their next possession. So little things like that, and that's where in our other conversation that we had on the improvements that the 49ers defensive line can make, that's kind of what we were talking about, was getting Nick Bosa back, getting Samson Ebicam is really going to help solidify that defense from a finishing standpoint as well, and be able to finish these plays off instead of having. Necessarily having balls that are getting thrown away and getting credit for a quarterback hit. You might be getting a sack. That's going to be helpful there. So let's jump forward a little bit, and I see a really good comment from Jason that we'll get to here in a few minutes. In the second quarter now, we're only going to see Javon Kinlaw for 2 plays in the second quarter of this football game. Here on 3rd and 20, they bring him in the game on 3rd and 20, and it's going to be a running play. It's 3rd and 20. They're kind of backed up, and they decide that Rams decide that they're going to just run the ball. Here's Kinlaw here. He does a really nice job working across, getting off of his man and coming down. It's a nice tackle by Dre Greenlaw, but he does a really good job. A lot of times we saw this in the previous film breakdown against New Orleans, where they've lined up in this look as well, where they have him three down linemen to the left, to one side of the formation. They got the pass rusher, they got a single man out here, which is Kerry Hyder, and then they kind of, in that game, if you remember, they brought Hyder up inside and they looped Kinlaw around. Let's see what happens here. He stays outside. Kinlaw still kind of is looping, but it's not as wide of a loop. He's just starting off on the left side. So what's happening is they want him to kind of come across. And so even though he's starting over here, even though he's starting on the left side, his responsibility is to get across and get over into this A gap right over here. So he's lining up on the A gap on the offense's right side. His responsibility is to jump into the A gap, rush through here on the opposite A gap. And you're going to see him get across the face of the center pretty quickly. He's able to get his hands out and see the ball come down the line of scrimmage. And Dre Greenlaw does a really nice job of wrapping up the running back, and they take him down for a gain of only 1. So that's a pretty nice play by Kinlaw overall. So not too bad there. Then we come back to the next one. It's a 4th down after that, and he's out for almost the entire second quarter of this game. The Friars had the ball for quite a bit of it as well, but the next time Kinlaw is going to be in the game is going to be at 43 seconds. So 1st and 10 at the 49ers 39. And this is actually a really nice play, though, by Kinlaw. We talked a lot about his lack of pass rush and things that he struggled with. This time, though, they have him do something a little bit different. They ask him, they kind of play a little bit of a game here between him and the defensive end, Kerry Hyder. I believe it's going to be Kerry Hyder. Let's see who's lined up next to on this one. Yeah, it's Hyder. So we got Hyder here. We have Kinlaw here. Through this point of the game, we've seen him pretty much just rushing up into his man, like straight up here, or maybe looping around and getting into the center. This time, though, what we're going to see a little bit of a game between these two guys. And what I mean by that is Hyder's going to be rushing inside, and then they're going to take Kinlaw and they're going to have him come around off of the edge. He does a really nice job. Let's take a look at that from here. Let's look at it in full speed first off. And there you see the nice work between the two of them. The Rams have a rough time of catching that. Now we've seen it in full speed. Let's watch it in slow speed, because you're going to see Hyder's going to jump up inside. Him jumping up inside is going to kind of bring the tackle down. This is really nice timing between those two, because as Hyder is engaging the inside shoulder of the tackle, almost at that same point in time, Kinlaw is coming right off of his backside. They really don't give the Rams any kind of a chance to switch on this, and allows Kinlaw to come around the edge free. His pressure is what forces Goff to bring the ball down and start to scramble, ultimately leading in Jimmy Ward making the tackle and forcing a fumble that is recovered by Kerry Hyder. So, this is an example of one where you really don't see a stat that goes into Javon Kinlaw's favor. We watched this play, on the TV cut, and they're talking about what a great play that Ward made down the field. They're talking about the hustle of Kerry Hyder to come back over and pick up the football on the fumble, but you really don't hear anything about the play that kind of starts that, which is right at this point. This is where the play is made right here, because at this point, Kinlaw's already been able to fight away the hands of the guard, and you've got Kerry Hyder doing a really good job of his coming inside, of attacking that inside shoulder of the tackle to kind of turn his shoulders. And as he's turning his shoulders, he's also taking the guard with him. And so that's what this motion right here frees up Kinlaw. The only thing that I would say about Kinlaw's play on this one is that at this point right here, I like to see him just just bury his foot in the ground and drive at the quarterback. Instead, he kind of, he sees Goff start to get into a throwing motion, and so he starts raising his hands like he's going to block it, and then he realizes that the Goff pulls it down, and he runs by him. If at that point right here he just attacks this shoulder of Goff and just is running through him instead of doing what he's doing now, he probably ends up with a sack where he is. Instead of Goff being able to step up inside of him like that, because that little bit of a Goff starting to pump fake a little bit, gets his hands up in the air, and that little bit of slows him down and kind of gets him off balance enough to where Goff's able to escape up inside. Regardless, it's a really nice play between Hyder and Kinlaw. Really nice pass rush that generates a turnover for the 49ers and eliminates points possibility for the Rams late in the half. So you stop the Rams possession that had gotten down inside your 40, and then you almost kick a field goal on your end. So that's a really nice possession there for a really nice play, for Javon Kinlaw on the 49ers defense. Now let's go ahead and jump forward, because it's the most excitement of this game for Kinlaw comes right here in the beginning of the second half. So at the 15-minute mark, first play of the second half, we're going to get a run. He's lined up here, and we'll go ahead and watch him. He's going to do a really nice job. I think this ball is going to be run down here to the 49ers defense's left side, I believe, but I could be wrong. Let's see where they go. Nope, it's actually going to go towards him, towards his side. So it's going to go out here to the left. Kinlaw does a really nice job, though, of fighting. Look at that arm extension to keep the offensive lineman off of him. Slides down the line of scrimmage. The first man misses, and he's there to catch him and make the tackle for a gain of only 2 yards. That's a really nice play. You see a lot of good things on this one. You see him, that arm extension. He has those long arms. Look when he gets his arms fully extended, how far away he's able to just to push that guard off of him, get that separation. There's just no way that he can even touch him, and he slides right around Hyder, gets into the hole, and catches the running back for a tackle for a gain of only 2 yards. That's really nice run defense out of Javon Kinlaw. We'll watch it again from let me speed it up so we can get to it. Let's watch this from the end zone view. You see it even better. Steps inside, sees the run coming to his left, is able to stop, extend his arms on 73. Greenlaw misses the tackle, and Kinlaw is right there to finish him off and take him down for a gain of 2. Really nice play. Good team defense by both of those guys, Greenlaw and Kinlaw, too. The law firm there, Greenlaw and Kinlaw, taking down the running back for a gain of 2. The next play is the one that everybody remembers. This is the one that everybody gets excited about. This is the pick 6. Kinlaw is here. And as I go into this play, I'm going to pull this up real quick, this comment from Jason. And he says, Kinlaw seems to want to get PBUs instead of going all out for a sack. So what he's saying there is that it seems like Kinlaw wants to get, instead of being able to get to the sack, he's looking to make a breakup on a pass or whatnot. And you see that quite a bit. We saw that in the game last week, the previous game from New Orleans, right? Where what happens as a defensive end or if a defensive lineman, you're getting up the field, you're trying to get in your pass rush, but if if you can feel that you're not going to get to the quarterback, the next thing you're taught is to kind of fall back, get your eyes up on the quarterback, and try to get into the middle of the throwing lane. And we saw him do that a couple of times against the Saints. We saw one where it was a play out here to the left side, and he gets up in there, and he knows he's not going to get there, and he falls right back into the passing lane and knocks the ball down. That's almost like what we see right here. He gets into it, he realizes he's not going to get home. He starts to kind of just drop, and that little, sitting back, finding Goff's eyes. Goff has no idea that he's there. He goes to dump it off to the man underneath, and you've got Javon Kinlaw sitting there, and the ball hits him right in the belly, and he takes it in for 6. Let's watch it again at full speed. Not going to get there. Eyes are up. Sees where the quarterback's looking. He's a defensive tackle playing free safety underneath, basically. and he does a nice job of catching that ball and taking it in for 6. So this is a great play for Kinlaw to be able to make this play. It's not really what, I mean, it works out great for the 49ers. It's not what you want necessarily, right? I mean, you want to get the touchdown, so you're on there. But you really want, the design of this play is to get these 4 guys to get to the quarterback. So the result is the next best thing. Actually, is even better because you're getting a touchdown out of it. But he does a nice job. He's got his eyes on Goff. You can see his movement ability, his steps inside. You can see him step to the other side. And this is a really nice job of catching the ball. He's kind of off balance. The ball wasn't thrown right into him, as I said the first time, but it's pretty close. He's able to reach out to his right, kind of hopping unnecessarily, and makes the catch, and then carries that big raccoon in for a touchdown to give the 49ers a lead to start the second half. So that was a big play, huge play in that ball game. A really nice play out of Kinlaw, and that's a play that a lot of people point to when they look at his play over the second half of the season. That's one of the ones where they say, you know, look how good he played in this game, and he did play very well. But it's interesting when you watch that the biggest play of the game, the pick six, comes off of a failed pass rush, but he does a really nice job of keeping his eyes up, finding the quarterback's eyes, and playing that underneath free safety, basically, is, I guess you'd call it, to make the play. So a nice job by Kinlaw there. Let's move forward to 4:30. That's the next. He misses the whole next series. He's out. The next 2 series, actually, because there's the pick 6. He's out for this series. He's out for this series. And so here at 4:30, he gets back into the game for. Really, this is going to be the most plays at any one point in this game. There are these 4 plays in a row, and he's going to play for the defense here. They're up 17-3. Kinlaw is right here on the defensive line. Just it's a quick pass to the outside. He's, again, no pressure really. He really struggled with generating pass rush pressure in this game. You're going to see him basically just get into the man. Boom. You know, the one pass rush pressure was on the twist, but on just the straight up pass rushing plays where he's asked to make a play on his own without any kind of a game with the help of another defensive lineman, you just don't see it in this one. So another pass here. These are all passes. Again, no pressure at all. It's another bull rush. He tries actually on this one. He actually tried to spin it. So he tries a little bit different move on this one, and he gets caught in the middle of a spin. Again, he's right here. You see him. You know, after he gets engaged, he tries to spin around. The ball's out before he can get there, though. You kind of see this one. It's kind of a bull rush, and then he gets to the outside, tries to rip the outside, realizes he's not going to get there. Right here, he tries to rip up underneath him. Does a whole bunch of different things on this one play to try to beat the guard. Let's watch this one more time, because he kind of starts and he's kind of bull rushing him here. Now he's going to kind of try to rip through, gets caught, stops. Now he's going to try to spin off of him. And Goff is able to get the ball out of his hands to cut for a big gain down the middle of the field on Emmanuel Mosley. But that's a nice one. That's a better demonstration, though, for him. He's actually, on that one, you get to see him actually trying to work some techniques. It's not just a straight bull rush the whole way. He kind of starts off that way, then you see him kind of want to get into a rip with his left arm to try to rip around the outside. You can see him start to do that, where you can see that he's feeling that he's getting caught, so then he spins out of it. There's just nobody else kind of slowing down Goff at all. The ball's able to come out too quick, and it's a completion. Here on this one, another pass play. This does not generate any kind of a rush, though, on this one. Here he is right here, right in the middle. And it's just one-on-one with 73, who he makes number 73 look like Aaron Banks, you know, college film where Banks just stonewalls everybody. And let's skip forward to the next one. Now at 3:26. This one, again, there's just no. Unfortunately for Kinlaw, he's not able to generate pressure again. And this one, he kind of slides over. There's just a big pile of bodies end up in the middle as he slides across. He kind of slides into where Darian Daniels is right here is rushing from, and they kind of just end up over the top of each other, kind of just piling into the middle of the Rams defensive line. And Goff has time, has a wide open receiver. This should be a touchdown if he makes a good throw. And this is real quick. I know we're looking at Javon Kinlaw, but here's the difference between the this is how close the 49ers were to losing games to the Rams last year that they didn't, that they ended up winning. You've got a wide open receiver here running a route down the left sideline, and Goff just misses him completely. Is not able to hit him down the left sideline. He's got this guy wide open, and this is why Goff has been traded to Detroit, and Matthew Stafford is in. Plays like that one right there, which is part of the reason also why the 49ers are looking to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and have Trey Lance be the starter. And this is a touchdown. They get lucky here that you get a bad overthrow. If this is a good ball from Goff to the running back, it's a touchdown. All he's got to do is put a little bit more air into this thing instead of throwing it on such a line. He's got plenty of room in the back of the end zone to work with, and he tries to drive it into him when he doesn't have to, and instead of a touchdown, they end up with eventually having to settle for a field goal. So those little nuances of the game, and we talk about how you can talk about how good the 49ers defense was playing at a point in time, and they were playing good, but at the same time, you've got Jared Goff over here who just missing wide open receivers helping him out as well. Now let's jump to fourth quarter. And deep in 49ers territory at the 7-yard line, that's the first time that you see Kinlaw in the game in the fourth quarter. You see him down here at the bottom on the guard. The guard and tackle work together to kind of drive him down and really open up the hole. So he gets a nasty double team right there. He's not able to maintain ground. He's got two guys pushing on him, so that's understandable. That's a little bit tougher, but let's watch this one here. He's here. You're going to see the guard and the tackle are going to block down on Kinlaw. And that's going to be what creates the lane for the running back here. They're able to seal him down, seals off Warner. Kavarius Morris comes up and makes the tackle at around makes the hit at about the 4, and they finally get him down at about the 2. Kinlaw, after he fights through the double team, is able to get over and kind of stand next to the pile after it's done. It's actually a pretty decent job. He's able to kind of slide it. He's doing it. He's getting pushed back, but he does a decent job of splitting that double team instead of completely getting driven back. Not a great play, not a bad play, but you can definitely see where he's got the why he struggles on that play because of the double. And then we get a running play here at the goal line. And he tries to work his way down the line of scrimmage. This is actually a really nice play by Kinlaw. He needs some help from the linebackers here because to kind of finish this one off, because he's sliding down the line of scrimmage, so his feet aren't quite going to be set to be able to really make a big hit. But he needs some help. Emmanuel Mosley needs to be filling that gap because that's the one who's coming across the top. The way that because of the motion, he's there. The linebackers are out wide. 41 needs to be helping him fill up the gap there and help him out. But he does a really nice job on this one, actually, of sliding. If you just watch Javon Kinlaw, does a really nice job. He's going to fire up inside. He's here. He's got his inside arm free, slides down the line of scrimmage. He's kind of off balance a little bit when he makes contact with the running back, knocks him sideways, but he just needs some help from another defender in order to keep Akers out of the end zone. He doesn't get it, so the Rams score a touchdown. But that's actually a decent play by Kinlaw. It could have been better. The way that play would have mattered is if he would have been able to make this. If at this point right here, watch. Watch, right? So he's into him, and he starts to let off, and right here, he's off balance. You can tell by the way his arms are flailing a little bit. So he's not able to run through and drive through the running back. You can see that he's falling down to his knees as he's making contact with him. So he's not really bringing his full body into the tackle. And there's nobody else helping him out either, because by the time Mosley gets there, Mosley's basically running into him as well. So a relatively decent play by Kinlaw. Could have been a little better if he'd maintained his footing and kind of driven through the running back. He might have been able to stop him. Who knows? And then got 2 more plays. 2 more. They gave me 2 pass plays, and we've talked quite a bit about this, and this game just was not, other than the one where they ran the game and he was on his left side, and he ran that game with Kerry Hyder. He just isn't generating any kind of a pass rush. 3rd and 11, tied ball game here, and he's going in and rushed the quarterback twice. He's right here, and he's stoned at the line of scrimmage again. Ball comes out. Does a nice job. It's a nice hustle play by Kinlaw, though, of turning and running to the ball. But as far as a pass rush, it's just not there. He really just doesn't have the ability to get there. He's just such a bull rusher. They really need to be using him on twists and stunts more often in order to free him up, because otherwise he's not getting home. But this is a nice job after the ball coming out, chasing this thing down from the backside. The tackle's already made, and he kind of cleans it up at the end. But nice hustle play by Kinlaw at the end there. And then this is the last one, and then they pull him out for the rest of the game. I think it's just they're seeing that he's just not getting any kind of a pressure. And again, this time he's going to get into his man. He's kind of working towards his left side. He kind of just works into the pile of Daniels on this one again. 73 gets into him pretty good and turns him. It's just not a good pass. Just really not a good pass rush out of Kinlaw throughout most of this game. The only one, as we mentioned, was the one where he has a twist. This time he's one-on-one with the right guard. He's standing up. The guard's up underneath the shoulder pads, just driving him and holding it right there. He's too high. Let's watch this right here. Before he's kind of standing up, and the first punch goes from the that first punch goes right to his chest, stands him straight up, and at that point the pass rush was over with. Look at that. Stand up, 73 just stands him straight up. A nice shot by his right hand to the chest of Kinlaw. For a guy that has the length that Kinlaw has, he should be much better with his hands. That's the one area of his game that really needs to improve as you head into 2021. Is Kinlaw's a big, strong guy. He's fast. You see that athleticism out of him, like on the pick six. You see athleticism out of him when he's chasing the ball down, when there's at times when he's working his way down the line of scrimmage to make a tackle or help out with a run play. But this is a guy who has some of the longest arms on the team, and he really needs to be able to start working on using his hands to be able to get up into that guy and start using his hands to win. He's got to start using his length to win consistently in his pass rush. Until he does that, I think he's going to continue to struggle in that aspect of the game. We've seen that he does a decent job in the run game, though. But as a first-round draft pick, taken at number 13 in the draft, having the 13th pick in the draft be a run-stopping defensive tackle isn't really what you're looking for at that spot. So let's see how he performs in 2020. He's going to have, he's already had the OTA period to work through. He's going to have a full offseason as far as the training camp and preseason games. That's one of the things that we talked about earlier on the show earlier today, was that without those preseason games in 2020, these guys, the first 4 games of the season for the rookies were their preseason period. So it wasn't really until week 5 or 6 where they had gotten into the flow like rookies and seasons before them. So not going to give up on Javon Kinlaw just yet. He definitely has the potential. You see some really good traits out of him. This is the year where hopefully we see him take the next step and become dominant defensive tackle, from a run game and a pass rushing standpoint that the 49ers were hoping they were going to get when they took him early on in the draft in 2020. So I appreciate everybody that took the time to join on the live show today. If you're watching this afterwards, or if you're watching now and you're not subscribed to the channel, please like and subscribe. Hit that little notification button so that every time we go live, you get a notification so you don't miss it. Really trying to increase the subscriptions on the channel between now and the start of the season, so that we can bring you lots of good content throughout the year. I really appreciate everybody joining, like I said again, and there'll be more of this coming your way in the days to come as well. Thank you all very much and have a good day.